Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome to the vid. This is going to be a pregnancy Q&A. Let's just get into the questions because otherwise this could be a very long video. I'm going to start off with this one because it makes sense. How far along are you? So I'm literally just today 26 weeks. So that's about 6.5 months ish. And before I was pregnant I was like, well, I don't know what weeks are in months, and I still don't. I'd have to check them out, but if you don't go by weeks, then people that do know by pregnancy are like, why are you talking in months? It's weeks. But it's confusing. It's a mind fuck, to be honest. But it's because it's 40 weeks long and weeks don't always like equal months, but it's roughly about 6.5 months. Yeah. How many weeks were you when you started getting sick, and when are you due? So I started getting sick at 6 weeks, pretty much on the dot. And it had stopped by 16 weeks, and it eased off and got better by like 12. And I'd say I had probably 2 weeks when it first started that were the worst. And like they were like I had a bug. I was literally sick from the second I woke up till the second I went to sleep. And then I went into Holles Street A&E and got Caraban and Stemetil. And they also gave me an anti-nausea injection as well. So I was grand once I got all of that. I was still sick, and I was actually very sick in the evenings. Like the evenings were the worst for me. I was literally like, I just lay on the couch like a corpse and slept as well because I couldn't even stand to be awake, honestly. But the tiredness was also really bad at the time. So I'd pretty much sleep all evening. I'd just about get through work, and then by the evening I'd be feeling really sick. So I'd literally just be lying on the couch like a zombie, trying my best not to get sick. Sometimes I would get sick in the evenings, but most of the time I managed to keep it down. But yeah, it's so tough. I feel for you so much if you're going through morning sickness. It's horrible, and it's definitely not morning sickness. It's all day long. And then the second part of that question was, when are you due? I'm due the 1st of February. So it'll be interesting to see when the baby actually is born. Are you finding out the gender or surprised? We have found out the gender, kind of. So we found it out at our 20-week scan, which was at 21 weeks. I think everyone ends up around then. I think it's just whenever they can fit you in for your 20-week scan. So we went into the National Maternity Hospital for that, and we were like, if you can, could you let us know? But yeah, the baby kept their legs crossed. So she was like, I'm 75% sure it's a girl, but not 100%. But in about 2 weeks we're going to do a 4D scan that they'll hopefully be able to confirm gender at. But I'm actually not that fussed. Like I'm sure. I was like 97% sure it was a girl anyway, and then when I burst a balloon it was pink, I was just like, I knew it. Like it just basically confirmed it for me. So I would be shocked if they told me it was a boy. But then again, stranger things have happened. Like some people go their whole pregnancy thinking it's one gender and it's another, so we'll see. But yeah, I'll bring you along to that. I'm 26 weeks and I struggle with weight gain. I feel bad for feeling insecure. How do you cope? I'm honestly the same. Like only last week my mom was like, you're actually really starting to look actually pregnant now. Like she drove past me and she was like, that was the first time that I thought you actually looked pregnant. And I was like, what does that mean? I was wearing a baggy jumper. I was like, that's not good. Does that mean the rest of me looks big? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's a very strange thing. I think especially if you struggled with your weight beforehand. Like I've never been really happy with my weight, to be honest. Like even coming up to the wedding when I was like super fit, super healthy, I did look good. Now that I'm looking back, but at the time I still couldn't see it. Like I could see that I looked better than before, but I didn't think I was perfect. And then I remember getting my photos back and I'm like, God, I could have lost a bit more weight, I could have toned up a bit more, blah blah blah. But like I think that's just unfortunately in a lot of us. And well, I know it's in me, that's just how I am. But yeah, like it's weird. When I first got pregnant I was like, I I wasn't really thinking that much about my body changing. It seemed so far away, and then it started to happen. It happened so slowly that I was kind of okay with it. Now I feel like my body is changing quite a lot, and I don't even mind the bump. I don't know if you're like this, but it's the rest of me. I don't want the rest to be big. I don't mind if, like, I felt good about the rest of my body and then just had a cute bump. That's fine, but I'm like, are my arms putting on weight, are my legs getting bigger? It's actually so toxic. Like, we cannot enjoy anything. I'm not too bad though, but yeah, it is. It's definitely hard. Like, without a doubt, it is very hard, and I'm constantly like, what am I going to be like towards the end? How big am I going to get? Do you know what I mean? It is a worry. It is something you think about. Apologies, my camera died. Yeah, it's also a lot down to feeling uncomfortable as well. Like, I'm kind of worried that I'll feel really uncomfortable towards the end. So yeah, it's definitely tough. For tips, I kind of need them myself, to be honest. I don't think I'm in a place to give them, but yeah, I'm just going to try my best to relax and enjoy the rest of my pregnancy. I've only got a few months left, and try and not sweat, stuff like that. Like, also, when the baby's born, if you've put on a bit of weight, we can just go out for 100 walks a day with the baby. Like, it's absolutely fine. And also, you shouldn't feel the pressure to be losing it straight away, but you know what I mean. It's not the end of the world. We've all put on weight before and lost it, and whatever, if you don't lose it, it's not a big deal. It's up to you. It's yeah, it's a tough one. It's so tough. I feel like we just need to embrace it, especially the bump, and not worry too much. Not like, don't worry yourself, don't look at the scales. I haven't been the last while. Unfortunately, they do weigh when you go to your appointments, but they didn't at my last one. Yeah, I'm just going to try my best to enjoy it and not think about that, and I'd advise you to try to do the same, but I know it's hard. Another one is, how are you feeling? I'm actually feeling great. The second trimester has been really good to me. I'm so happy. I really had a lot more energy over the last few weeks, and I am barely ever feeling sick. It's a bit of nausea here or there, but I'm like, I'm gonna be sick. Like, it's so much better. So much better. I also find that if I'm on top of like my vitamins and iron and magnesium, I feel a lot better. I have still been taking a Stemetil here and there if I need it, but yeah, most of the time I'm not too bad. Or if I'm a bit hungry, that's when my nausea kicks in. But I'm actually feeling great, and I'm feeling really happy and excited, but it's also a very strange feeling in that I'm starting to feel quite panicked, because it's starting to feel a bit more real now, whereas at the start it was all just like telling people, and yeah, it seemed so far away, and now the time has gone really quickly, and I'm like, realistically, it hasn't hit me, and I can't get it to hit me that I'm gonna actually have a baby in my arms. And I'm like, I'm starting to freak out about that a little bit. I'm like, how am I gonna cope? Will I know what to do? Will it just come to me naturally? Like, not sleeping at night, how grim will that be? But then it's also like, I've not slept for a night before, and I've lived through it. Like, I have minded babies before and I've been fine. Like, it comes to everyone. And I'm also one of those people that has always wanted kids and always love kids, so I'm hoping it will just come to me naturally. And I'm lucky Con is great as well, and really excited, so I'm sure he'll help me a lot. But yeah, I'm worried about like when he goes back to work and all of that. Of course, I think it's just normal to be worrying about that. I feel like for us as women, like coming up to our wedding, I was an emotional wreck. I was like emotionally preparing myself for the day so much, like without even knowing it. Like, I'd always just be listening to like our wedding playlist and stuff, and I'd just be crying all the time. Anytime I was driving anywhere, I was crying. But yeah, it's just, we prepare ourselves, I think, a lot more before stuff happens, whereas men don't really think about it until it happens, and they're just in the situation, and then it's kind of good because they just have to get through it. But yeah, that's definitely how me and Con are versus each other. Like, Con he was like, I haven't really been thinking about it. When I was saying I was worried about like if I'd be able and all that, he was like, I haven't been thinking about it. But I suppose he's just not worried, and I guess there's no point in worrying. But I can't help it, I'm just a worrier. So yeah. I'm feeling a bit anxious and a bit weird about the whole situation, a bit worried and stuff about giving birth or whatever as well, because obviously that's all new to me. You hear horror stories and you hear some lovely stories. It's a weird one. It's one of those things that like so many people have gone through it, but until you've been through it, it's like, well, I don't know, like I always knew I'd want to give birth to my own child, but I have never really, like, until you're actually pregnant, you're like, I actually have to go through that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's coming sometime in February, whether like I have to get through it. It's a funny feeling when it's actually coming. But anyway, I'm sure all of it will be okay. Hopefully I'll be sitting here in a few months' time telling you a great positive story. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm a bit nervous. It's a strange time and I'm funny with change as well. I've always been a bit like, yeah. So I think I will be doing well, you know. I think I'm just preparing myself at the moment a lot, without even knowing it. So yeah, I'm honestly just looking forward to being like kind of settled. I feel even emotional thinking about it. I'm kind of looking forward to just having our actual baby. But yeah, I also need to enjoy my first pregnancy. It's such a weird one, because like I need to enjoy myself, but I can't enjoy myself. That's the story of my life. Yeah. The next question is, how long did it take you to conceive? This is a funny question because I've had people ask me this in my DMs before, and I always feel kind of weird about it because I know what so many people go through, and it was definitely a huge worry for me for the last few years. I was like, oh God, like, I don't know, you just don't know until you try to get pregnant. Obviously, you spend so many years trying not to get pregnant and being so careful that you don't know if you can get pregnant. It's a real worry. Like, even though I had no real reason to worry, I'd know, like, nothing telling me I couldn't. I'm quite healthy, like, you know what I mean? But sometimes those things don't matter. Like, it's nothing that you do. It's just tough for people, or it takes a good while. So that's kind of why we started to try, I'd say, early enough on. Like, we were only married less than a year when we decided to try for a baby. But yeah, I just, like, the average is apparently 3 months, but then a lot of people I know, it took a year, like, you know what I mean? And I'm very stressy, so I feel like if I didn't get pregnant on the first month, it would probably have taken me God knows how long, because I'd then be so stressed over it, like thinking there's something wrong with me. So yeah, I'm just that type. So I thought, we were kind of talking about it for a few weeks, and 1 or 2 people told us we were pregnant. We felt like, not jealous, but like, oh, I'd love that to be me. So that kind of made us think, maybe we are ready. I mean, Connor was more than ready. He was ready when he was born. He's basically said ages ago, whenever you're ready, I'm ready. But yeah, that's just such a man thing to do. Is I feel like they just don't think stuff through. We're so much more like, no, we have to wait until we've done this, this and this, and all of these things, which like is kind of silly in a lot of ways, but someone has to be a bit sensible sometimes, you know what I mean? But yeah, so that's kind of how it came about. And then we decided to start kind of trying, but not like cray trying, and we were really lucky we got pregnant the first month. So yeah, it was a weird feeling because it was all happiness, but a shock as well because it was quite quick. I wouldn't have minded a few months to get myself mentally prepared, but also I'm so grateful because God, the stress and the worry that it can cause. But yeah. And the last question is, do you have any baby names? You must be so excited. We don't really have any baby names. Like, Connor has a huge list on his phone and he always just writes down nice ones, and I like all of them, and I like a few that I've come up with myself, but there's nothing that I'm like, that's the one, like I love that one. there's nothing I could fully picture a child being called. But yeah, we've got some options, but I feel like I am too indecisive. I will have to see them. I honestly could be one of those people like Kylie Jenner and have a baby called one name for a week or two and then change the name. Like, I'm so indecisive, it's actually a joke. But yeah, so kind of, but we haven't got a full-on name chosen. I don't know if I'll be able for that. We have been just looking at girl ones now that we're pretty sure it's a girl, which hope doesn't come back to bite us. But yeah, that's it, and I am so excited. So yeah, if you've got any other questions, leave them below and I'll get back to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope the quality was okay on my phone now. Just if I went to charge my camera and everything, I would never came back and finished this off probably. So, because this is like the only time I've got to get this recorded. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you guys in the next bit. Bye.